I'm glad that one's over.
All right, guys, Coach will start with an opening statement. We'll open up for questions.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrific team win. I know how good UC Davis is, and I mentioned that earlier in the week. I played against Coach Less's teams too many times, and I told him, don't expect to come back to Alaska Airlines Arena as long as I'm coaching, if he's there. They're just really good. They're disciplined. It's a really hard first game because they have some veterans coming back that know their system, and you can see the pace that they played with. And when you got a point guard like, T.Y. Johnson, he could play anywhere in the country, his speed and shot-making ability. So it was a heck of a win, and especially with kind of the way we shot at the free throw line and the three-point line. I mean, I think we made 2 threes and we banked both of them. We're gonna have to clean up our shooting. But proud of our guys and some of the efforts that we had. Obviously I think there was 5 guys in double figures, but I thought Tyler Harris being ready when his number was called. He didn't play much in the first half, but he had some huge plays in that second half when we took the lead. I think he scored 2 straight buckets, and he made some great rebounds in our one defense, which is our 1-3-1, which I thought kind of changes the momentum of the game because we were having a hard time, guarding them, and they made some tough shots. But we got some turnovers and got them to miss a couple when we went to the 1-3-1 and kind of changed the momentum of the game.
You mentioned Tyler Harris, and he had a bandage. Is he okay?
Yeah, I have no idea what happened, to be honest.
Okay.
He's fine, though.
All right, and then one of the guys that kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but William Bradenbach came in and gave you a lot.
Yeah, he was terrific. He didn't miss a shot. And he was on the scout team all week. And he was on the scout team. He's one of our smartest players, so I know he can run their plays and he knows how to guard it at the same time. But just it shows how unselfish he is. But it also shows that the game rewards you when your intentions are in the right place. When your intentions are harder in the right place, the game rewards you, and it rewarded him tonight. I thought he was terrific. Even defensively, he had some really good moments of not fouling down low and making them try to score over. But yeah, couldn't be happier for Will.
You're down 5 with 7 left in that second half. Just what changed then? It seemed as if you guys went to a zone, and did the zone intensify things, and just what changed at that point?
Yeah, we went to the 1-3-1 a little bit earlier than that, I thought, but it might have been or maybe at the 10-minute mark or something. But it just kind of got them out of their rhythm a little bit, because their pace in the half court offense is they get. Ty and Leo sprinting off some of those screens and the bigs rolling. It's hard to guard all of it with their pace, and so it didn't let them run their man stuff and they made a couple threes, but it was different type of threes than they were getting.
I just think during that stretch there was they went 3 minutes without scoring.
Yeah,
was that the difference?
Yeah. That was the whole difference, and I think that's when we got out in transition a couple times. We actually made a couple free throws, and then Tyler hit a couple of those mid-range floaters that got us the lead.
And just what was it about the three-point shooting tonight that maybe wasn't there?
I think a little bit of it was, kind of first-game jitters, because, DJ doesn't miss those shots. I thought he was shooting a little bit too far out because he was open, and he can make those, but when you can shoot up a little closer, he's got to do it, But I didn't think any of our threes were necessarily bad shots or forced shots. It's just something if we can make even 2 or 3 more of those and we missed 17 free throws. You make 5 of those free throws, it's a totally different game. We really stymied our own momentum at times by missing free throws, where instead of being up 7 or 9, all of a sudden now they're making a shot and they're only down 3. Instead of we couldn't really build the lead because we were, missing free throws.
How would you rate Zoom's performance tonight? He played a lot of big minutes down the stretch. Tyree fouled out, so he had to kind of come in and be that extra guard. How would you rate his performance down the stretch?
I thought he was an A. A for me. I thought his energy was off the charts, even from the start, even in the first half. When he came in the game, the energy changed, and I thought he was terrific. He was one guy in the first half where he actually drove and looked to pass the ball to a teammate, and we got a couple layups where it seemed like everybody else was kind of driving to score, and we had some sloppy turnovers. But really proud of Zoom, and I thought even defensively, he was competing his butt off, which is something that he's really been working on. And then he made the 2 big free throws at the end too.
And then you mentioned the turnovers. A lot of fast play early on, and turnovers are going to come with that. How many of those turnovers were ones where you don't really like to see, and how many were ones that you were fine with because of the pace?
Well, I'm never fine with a turnover, and I thought they were all sloppy. Like we were just trying to do too much. We were, trying to throw some no-look passes that weren't open. We were driving into multiple people instead of just like jump stopping and getting the ball, letting the ball find the open shot. But it's it's first game stuff, and like it's good because we can show them on film. But it's stuff that we have to correct before Saturday. I know that.
How'd you assess Great's performance tonight? Obviously, leads the team in scoring, rebounds, and all that, but also has 6 turnovers, the free throws. How did you assess his overall game?
Yeah, I would say, and I know, and he knows me, and I know him better than anybody. I'd say a C minus. As good as his stat line was, I mean, he missed 9 free throws. Oh, got my, really proud of his 17 rebounds because he was down there battling, and they were being physical with him too. But he has to make more free throws, and he can't have 6 turnovers. Like he's too good of a player to do that. And he had one of the turnovers where he missed a layup, and he came back is in the end of the first half, and he had a sloppy foul where he fouled T.Y. Johnson. Now you're putting their best player on the free throw line for 2 free throws to continue his rhythm. And that's stuff that freshman and sophomore great. I may let him get away with it, but not senior great.
Danny, I heard you took a shower after the game and got a game ball. Went through the ritual of winning your first one. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it after the first one. Hopefully we can get some bigger wins to get those. But, yeah, I mean, it's a win. It's the first one, hopefully the first of many. But just, like proud of these guys. I'm glad they enjoyed the moment. Then obviously, Pat Chung gave me the game ball, and it is something, like it is a dream to coach here. Like I grew up a Husky fan, and it is special. But in the moment, like my mind's already going to Nevada, and the bigger things ahead. But it's a great moment.
So did they push you in the shower, your guys?
No, they just dumped water all over me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to change. Thank God they gave me a new one.
Danny, I know you want to play a tough, physical, energetic brand of basketball. On those 3 things, how would you rate the performance tonight on those 3 things?
I thought I would say probably like a B minus. I thought we were trying. Like we were trying. We got to get quicker. We looked a little tired. And I don't know if I've been practicing too hard the last couple of days. But we looked a little bit just kind of a step behind at times. And and that's probably on me. But we have to continue to get in better shape and be able to like really pressure. I think with our depth, like we're gonna have to play multiple guys, and you might only play for 90 seconds or 2 minutes, but we got to have the best 2 minutes of your life and then get out and then come back in fresh.
How did you assess the guard rotation? You got a pretty decent amount of rotation there with a few trio guys. How did you assess the overall guard play?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was solid. I thought it was, obviously we need to shoot the ball better. But I thought defensively, we competed. And we have guys that even didn't play, like Jace Butler's. He's a really good player. But it's hard when you can only play 5 guys. And, some of those guys they played 100 more games than these guys. And so, sometimes you have a little more like they've been in the moment. But some of these guys, their moment will come.
And then same thing with Casey. Was there anything with him?
It's just a hard game, and I told him, I said it has nothing to do with him being a great player or not. That's a hard game because they have 5 guys on the perimeter most of the game. And, it's hard for Casey to guard out there, and so, hopefully Nevada's a totally different game where he might play 20, 25 minutes. And so, it's just one of those games when you're playing smaller teams or 5-out teams, it's harder for, Casey and Frank to get out there and guard on the perimeter.
You spoke highly of UC Davis to start this off. A little bit before, Great said this is the worst shooting night that you guys are going to have. What does this do for the confidence to beat a team of this caliber without your A-level game moving forward?
Yeah, I think, there's something about, like, winning. I don't care if it's ugly. I don't care if it's pretty. Like, our guys found a way to win. Because there's teams that find ways to lose that game, too. They get down on free throws. You have a turnover. You don't hustle back. You don't make the toughness play. Tyler Harris comes in and makes some big plays. Like, they did what they had to do to win. And, you just have to keep finding ways to win. So I'm proud of these guys.
You had a couple of guys get in foul trouble today. How's that something you're going to correct before Nevada?
Yeah, and we've been calling fouls in practice from the summer on and telling these guys, like, you're going to get called for foul. Like, we bring in referees in for our practices too. And we have to do a better job moving our feet and showing our hands, and keeping our guy in front of us. Because the second you do this, it's a foul. And even some of the ones that I was watched them on film, like, we fouled them. Credit to the refs, but we have to do a better job of walling up and keeping our guy in front of us one-on-one. And like Frank, and we've been talking to Frank, like, I can't have you play 4 minutes and have 2 fouls and sit out the rest of the first half. Like, we need him on the floor, because you could see how we started the game when he was on the floor, and so.
Any other questions?
It seemed as if in that second half that you found something with that lineup of Zoom and Mason and Great and Frank and Tyler. Just what did that lineup give you?
Yeah, I thought, we started getting stops. I think that was when we went to our 1-3-1 defense. That group was in, so we finally got some stops and we could get out in transition. And and when we do get out in transition, we got some really good athletes that can get the ball to the rim. Tyler got a couple layups, but we started getting more pace, and their defense, it's not as easy to set when they're missing shots. When they were making those shots, then they're back in their 2-3 zone, and we were coming up, and, even our ball moving against their zone wasn't good enough. We practiced a little bit against, zone the past couple weeks, but we haven't really put ours in yet. But that's something we're going to have to really focus on the next 2 days to clean that up.
And just anything defensively to do against a guy like T.Y. when he's going like that? Do you double a guy? Do you try to get the ball out of his hands?
You do, but it's hard when they got 5 guys that can shoot threes, because their offense, they were setting a bunch of those ball screens and they're just throwing it up to their big guy who can really shoot, up top, and then he's wide open. So it was hard to double him at times. I thought Zoom took him away a little bit, even at the end, just trying to face guard him, which we're going to have to do, but. It's hard because he did. I mean, I don't know how many free throws he shot. 13 to 16. And he does a great job initiating the contact. I thought there was a couple plays where he just jumped into our guys, and our guys just had to take it, but, they got called for fouls, which they probably were. But, that's you have to know good offensive players are going to do that stuff.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thank you, guys.